TikTok is the wildest, all right?
You are a mayo monster.
I'm a mayo monster? So am I a monster made of mayonnaise, or am I did I eat radioactive mayonnaise and now I have superpowers, or?
Whiteness needs to end.
White people do not inherently have empathy.
You're full of hate, right?
Well, I don't know about every white person, but I have no empathy because empathy is a lie.
Don't know how else to say it. Because one of the things you become aware of when you have the slightly niche experience, right, of having the last name White is just how many people are really walking through the world that are genuinely triggered by.
I figured the question that would come up over the tequilas would be, do you still have a dick?
By the word white, just the word. And then it's a more logical, as of now, as of 2023, white is the literal only race that you can say horrendous things about, wish death upon, and not be banned off every social media platform.
Is anybody doing anti-Asian TikToks? Because those motherfuckers kind of just fly under the radar.
And not have your life ruined. So until that changes, let me know.
First of all, if you are a mayo monster.
You couldn't lube me up a little bit first, sis? Oh my God.
Okay, I might be a mayo monster, but you're a ghetto ratchet bitch. Cool.
Points for creativity, but
That is how your ancestors got everything from stealing. Which, by the way,
No, we didn't steal it. We conquered it fair and square. And by the way, your ancestors weren't doing shit in Africa, except killing each other. And by the way, we didn't steal the country. We conquered it fair and square. And by the way, that's what the Native Americans were doing with each other for many, many moons before the white guys showed up. That's what they did in China. That's what they did in Africa. That's what they did all over the world. Fuck you, you dumb bitch. And take that stupid thing off the top of your fucking head.
stupid the American public.
Also, this bitch is aware she's living in the greatest country on earth and is one of the most privileged people on the world. Hey, lady, if you want to go back to the motherland, Africa, you can. But this ghetto black girl, whatever attitude you have going, this boss bitch attitude, acting like a man, that ain't going to fly over there. The men over there will just beat the shit out of you.
Like education system.
Y'all are more focused on people looting and trying to get necessities and things that they need. And yes,
except they're not looting necessities. If the looting during the Black Lives Matter riots was a bunch of single black mothers, because that's like 70% of the moms in the black community, actually about damn near 80. If they were like looting things like Frosted Flakes, Wonder Bread, and bologna, I'd be like, all right, I'll let that go. What are the black people looting? Oh yeah, they're looting Nikes. You can't eat a shoe.
the TV is a fucking necessity.
You feel like you're better than because people
Wait, whoa, what the fuck? Okay, ghetto bitch.
And negate 20% of the 40% of the whiteness that I'm supposed to feel guilty about? Like, let me know. Give me an equation.
Y'all are more focused on people looting and trying to get necessities and things that they need. And yes, a TV is a fucking necessity.
No, a TV is not a necessity. Not in any world is a TV a necessity. Also, TVs are dirt cheap. Get your ass a job. You can afford a TV in a week.
feel like you're better than because people are out here stealing and you would never.
TVs are a necessity, apparently. Baby girl, I'm gonna need you to stay away from the TV.
And why do I think this person would go bananas if her cell phone didn't work?
Doing that's negative.
See,
so
the
like
TV
the idea that you should take responsibility or feel bad or guilty about videos of people of your same race stealing TVs. The idea that you should feel guilty about that, that's dumb. You shouldn't. You're an individual. You're not the person stealing.
Yeah, I tend to agree with Blair. Same thing as if I see a bunch of white motherfuckers, or same thing as if let's say there is a legitimate racist attack on, let's say, a black sandwich shop. I don't know, I have to pull something out of my ass. And a group of legitimate white racists burn the business to the ground. I'm the first one to say, okay, they can all go to jail, but I'm not going to feel guilty about it because I didn't do anything.
Stealing, right? But no one should feel guilty.
Because this girl was not born a girl. Blair White is trans.
About what people are doing of the same skin color as them. That doesn't make sense. However, for you to so confidently think that white people, however, must feel guilt for what white people who were born
And I have no idea if she's had the bottom surgery or not.
and dead long before they were born have done or did do, or even are said to have done.
No, that Blair White was born male. Blair White is trans. It's just Blair White's cool, so normally I'm a little nicer to her than most trans.
A very long time.
Yeah, and by the way, the Native Americans were actually, in the final decades of the Indian Wars, were armed better than the cavalry. It's just, do you know who the Cherokee hated more than the white man? They hated the Sioux more.
Is the problem.
Well, yeah, it's the same thing as these jackasses that say, oh, this group is committing war crimes. Every group of people has committed war crimes. They are not unique to Nazi Germany or Israel or the Mongolians or whatever. Every single group has committed war crimes. Winston Churchill committed war crimes. And FDR, the president of the Young Turks loved to suck the dick of, approved of them. Was just fine with them.
Seeing as melanin deficient Europeans created white.
I have no idea where to start with this guy, so before we get into him, I'm going to give you something pleasant because I need to pee again. Yeah, but we didn't round up the Africans and enslave them. We bought them. Still slavery, but we didn't go into Africa. In fact, most white guys didn't want to get off the damn boat because of malaria. In fact, just as many white guys died in the transatlantic slave trade as black people. Because again, malaria.
All right, so Dave is so wrong here, I had to step in. Because approximately 2 million slaves died en route to the New World on the Middle Passage, out of 12.5 million that were ever transported. 2.5 million sailors did not die on that passage also. He's just making stuff up as always.
Because every other group is off limits currently.
Yeah, plus I guarantee you this freak doesn't have a job, so he has nothing better to do all day.
I wish they had the same level of hatred for pedophiles as they do white people. I mean, wow. When's the last time you saw someone like this speaking up on the danger of pedophiles in the country?
He's probably a map.
It's just whiteness, right?
Oh, God. She started doing that BIPOC shit. Okay. For a second there, I was like, BIPOC? What the fuck is that? Yeah, that's the whole black, indigenous, person of color bullshit.
Go die, white devil, you cracker.
Okay, what about Colin Kaepernick? Is Colin Kaepernick black or white? Because one of his parents was white. Is Meghan Markle black? Because she's goddamn near as white as I am. There are Italians darker than her. And they're considered Caucasian.
Racism. That's discrimination. It's an action that's bred out of a prejudice.
No, that is racism. Racism is judging people based on nothing more than their racial characteristics. There is no different. Discrimination is a black guy saying, I don't want whiteys in my bar. That's discrimination. Saying I hate white people is racism. You dumb brunette bitch.
Demon.
White people do not inherently have empathy, and it's something that
Yet you felt the need to take the blonde hair from the white people. But okay, you do you, boo.
I've talked about for more than a year. And one of the reasons is
And yet you've talked about it for more than a year, and yet nobody cares. Now again, I don't have empathy because empathy is a lie. Empathy does not actually exist.
because it has not been modeled. If you look at the epigenetic nature of white folks, especially European Americans, white American people, there is this long-standing history of violence. And there has been...
Okay. Now let's take that and let's go to, like, oh, I don't know, the Aztecs, for example. They're people of color. They're indigenous, as you would label them. Extremely brutal society. Lots of human sacrifices. Shall I? Do you want me to go? Do you want me to go tribe by tribe in Africa? They all weren't singing "Kumbaya." You know, again, that movie, The Woman King, that I guarantee you thought was just a stunning and brave movie. Yeah, they were the biggest slavers in Africa. The most brutal civilization ever to exist. Killed more people than anyone on the planet. The Mongols. They weren't white.
Been no effort, no intentions, no work for white people to unpack it. So it doesn't really matter what type of community. It doesn't matter what the effort. White people don't have any practice.
Yet you are appropriating blonde hair from us.
In doing anything that is anti-oppressive. The things they have practiced doing together is violence.
Empathy has never been modeled. I am so glad that the arbiter of empathy, humankind.
By the way, I would like to bring up another thing to the young lady, again, appropriating blonde hair. The Barbary slave trade. This is where a bunch of POCs enslaved white people. Oh, and it was far more brutal than, the transatlantic slave trade.
Hey everyone, me again. So the Barbary slave trade was nowhere near the size and scope of the transatlantic slave trade, nor was it just white Europeans being enslaved by Muslims. This is actually a white supremacist talking point, so do with that information what you will.
Just saying.
Kindness has spoken. And when you do...
Oh, and by the way, a lot of white people had to die to stop the transatlantic slave trade, too.
Okay.
I say white to remind people that white supremacy is everywhere. Because
why do you act like you're hocking up a loogie?
in order for true equality to happen, white supremacy has to be dismantled.
You're never going to get rid of it, much like you're not going to get rid of black supremacy, Asian supremacy, or racism in general. But there's like 3,000 white supremacists in the country that are confirmed. We're a country of 330 million. Who cares? And again, racists let you know they're racist. They're like climate protesters and vegans. They never shut the fuck up about it.
To look this crazy.
So let's talk about where the word good morning originated.
Oh, God, this is going to be terrible. Let's see. Dreadlocks, check. Multiple nose rings, check. Multiple piercings, check. Tattoos, check. Overdone makeup, check. And probably a horrendous attitude, check. The only positive I can say about this bitch is she's in shape. Okay, so apparently good morning is racist. Fine, present your case.
Originated from. Good morning. All right, so during slavery times,
I can't. I can't. You were never a slave. I heard a kid in the background. You're a single child, or the child you're raising as a single mom isn't a slave. Your mom wasn't a slave. Notice I'm not bringing up dad. Her mom wasn't. Your grandma wasn't a slave. Her mom. God damn it. The last person that had anything to do with legal slavery died in 1953. Get over it. Worry about your own life. You want to know why your life sucks? Look in the mirror and look at all the shit you have on your face. That's why your life sucks. Not the white man. You know what's holding you back from the promotion at work? Not Whitey, that fucking neck tattoo you have.
Adversarial relationship with the...
You know, instead of worrying about good morning, why don't you worry about getting child support money from Tyrone?
The rest of the world.
Also, by the way, bitch, you're not a princess.
In your, so
yeah, because I really don't give a sautéed rat's ass, and neither should anybody alive today, about what people did a century and a half ago. I don't care what people did last week. It's the past. You can't change it. Move on. Again, maybe you'd be a little farther in life if you made better choices, young lady.
Right. Hey, wait a minute. What the hell is that thing? Seriously, what the hell is that thing? God, it looks like if that blueberry girl was black from Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. Oh, God. All right. My big, beautiful blueberry, what are you complaining about today?
Listen. You're only playing this if you value your life. Is to shut the up. Listen exclusively to black, brown, and indigenous women, femmes, and non-men.
Yeah. Do you know who's the greatest at killing people? It's actually white men. Close second is Asians. Close second is Asians. But white men conquered the world. And we'll defend our women from... Also, who are you to threaten anyone? You look like you'd be out of breath walking down the damn candy aisle at the grocery store.
Racism in your own self is violence.
Do you know what violence means? Racism on its own is not violent. Now, can racism lead to violence? Of course. But racism on its own is not violence. Publishing a newspaper or a news flyer telling every black person in your state to go the fuck back to Africa is not violence. It might be reprehensible, disgusting, and mean, and wrong, and all that other shit. But it isn't violent. You just posted some shit. Now, if a white racist hits a black guy with a car, that's violence. Learn the difference.
You took the spot.
No, this is just some mediocre-looking bitch that's begging for the Tyrone dick.
I get called a white savior because I can admit the shit I do. Meanwhile, there's women running around.
So you admit the shit you do. So what? You have like a black neighbor, and every Thursday night you go on the front lawn, put a cross on the lawn, and light it on fire. Do you like what? Egg their house? Do you throw leave baskets of fried chickens, biscuits, and gravy? Which I don't know if that's racist. That might just be nice.
Thinking.
Look, racism. Again, there are things that I guarantee you call racist that basically have context. Again, this is why Jamie Foxx and Samuel L. Jackson had to take Leonardo DiCaprio aside and basically force him to say the N-word because of assholes like you.
By denying. Good luck with that delusion.
What? I would love it if somebody left chicken, biscuits, and gravy on my goddamn doorstep. That'd be wonderful.
Video. You know, I'm a big
believer. Racism doesn't exist. Racism exists in small pockets. It's not a problem.
That's the more urgent, you know.
I mean, it's always going to exist. It's never going away. But is it really a big deal anymore? The answer is no.
That's in your hands.
But that has never stopped.
You know, it's kind of like I'll take a drink that's associated with the black community. Hennessy. First time I ever had Hennessy, I was in college, and it was I was given a glass of it by a black guy, and it's delicious. So is it racist if I buy a bottle of Hennessy? Because, you know, I also happen to like it, but it's not the cheapest thing in the universe? You want to ask a serious question while you have aqua green hair. Okay, fine. What is it, my dear?
Or a stitch. Are y'all aware that y'all often take up
Why do you have a shopping cart in your apartment?
Space with disregard for the people of color around you?
Okay, I gotta back her up. Sorry, I was distracted by...
More for white people, actually. This is a serious question, and I would like a serious answer in my comment section, or a stitch. Are y'all aware that y'all often take up space with disregard for the people of color around you?
I take up the space that I need to take up, and I take it up with complete disregard for any person of color around me, black, Asian, indigenous, Latino, and white. I don't give a fuck about anybody.
Hatred, darkness.
Also, and maybe if you weren't a strong, empowered black woman with aqua green hair, you could have a man to hold hands with.